My name is Ann Perney Gregor. My mother and my father were both teachers. My dad was a superintendent of schools in Livingston, Illinois. And you know where that school is? Have you ever traveled Route 55? Did you ever go by a place that has a big elephant? And there's a building there. It's an antique building now, but that was my high school. Yes.
Since you taught the first computers class, what was that like? I mean, what year was that? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I wish I did, but I don't remember. Whenever the first one came in, and as soon as I could bow out of it, I did when other people came in with the training, because I wanted to teach accounting and some years I had 5 accounting classes. And if I didn't teach accounting, all 5, I would teach consumer ed, maybe 1 or 2. But when I first started teaching, when I went to Edwardsville, I taught health and physical ed for 2 years. And that's when I had the cheerleaders. And my cheerleaders took first place at state in 1956. And then I was a swimming coach, and one of my swimmers took first place at state. Billy Stapleton, yeah. Yeah, I had cheerleading for 2 years. And then, see, I left, well, my first 2 years here, then I left because I got married, and I went down, to Nashville. In Nashville, the first year I was subbing because I didn't have a regular job, and I'd go from school to school. I did this for 9 days. I didn't have a cell phone. I had to go up to the corner and use a payphone and call the school district and see where they were going to send me. Now that's how old a time it was. And they'd tell me I was going to go to this school or that school, okay? So when I went to Highland Heights, and it was teaching 6th grade. And anyway, I subbed there, and I wasn't too happy with the discipline in that school. But then they called and they said that the teacher no longer wanted to be there, if I would please take it. So I said yes, because I'll teach it. So the first day when I walked in, here was this guy. His name was Tom. He sat in the front row, and in the second row, and he took his pen and pushed it against a girl, and she said, "Don't." So I went over and I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I just went like that." He did it again. I took him out of his seat. As little as I am, I took him up and I shook him and I sat him down. "You can't do that today." And I said, "That's enough of this. I will not have it from anybody in this classroom." And they were terrible kids, they were. And I said, "That goes for everybody. I like you, I want you to like me, but we're not going to have any of this disruption. You're here to learn something." And I said, "If you're good, on Wednesday, every Wednesday we'll give you a surprise." So they were all excited about wondering what it was. And this was on a Thursday. So they had to go Friday and whatever. So right at the end of school, my husband brought them all donuts. And so they all ate their donuts in class and everything. And it was wonderful. In Altenburg, Missouri, I taught 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade in a little German community when all the kids said, "Yeah." And that's when I went down to Missouri with my husband, because he took a job down there. So I went with him, and I said I put the ad in the paper that I was a teacher and I needed a job. And that's when I got called by the county clerk of Perry County, a county judge, and he wanted me to come in. So I went in, and I thought he was going to give me a teaching job somewhere. And he said, "No," he said, "we don't have a county clerk right now. She had to move away, and we're looking for a county clerk." And I thought, if you have your accounting degree and what have you, that would be nice for you. So he gave me the few interview, and he said, "Come back in a couple days and I'll see what I can do." So I went back in a couple days, and he said, "Well, I'm going to hire you as county clerk." Oh, he said, "No, wait a minute. what political party are you? And I said, sir, I'll be anything you want me to be. So he said, okay, you're hired. And I said, now if a job comes through in school, I want it. Just remember that. I'll do it because you don't have one right now. So about 3 weeks went by, I guess, and that's when I went into work one day, and he said, this little school in Altenburg, Missouri, they need you. They don't have a teacher. So I went there. We put on a Christmas program. We did a lot of things. And I even had to, this is funny, I had to plan their lunch programs, and the parents would bring in the food. That's way back, and that's what they did. It was completely German. When we were fighting, you know, against Germany, this whole area was censored, kind of. They couldn't do anything, yeah. So, because they were all, it was a completely German community. But it was fun. Oh, I did have one great accomplishment. Would you like to know what it is?
Absolutely.
Well, I made the newspapers, and I made history. I lived in Livingston, and I took a road from Livingston to Edwardsville. That was before Route 55 went through, every day. Well, when the new road came through, it went through Hamel, the old road, I'm saying, went through Hamel, and then they made Route 4. You took Route 4, and they called that the old 66. But it wasn't. That was a temporary road until they got it finished. And the 66 went through Livingston, but they never marked it through Livingston. They marked it through Staunton. Where Staunton was that way, Livingston was that way. And this old road went through Livingston. I remember as a little girl watching all the troop trucks during World War II go right through our town. But they ignored Livingston. So I went to the state. I talked to them. They said, okay, get some information for us. I got old maps. I went along 66. I got people who lived along there whose license or whose tax statements all said their address was 66, everything. 5 years it took me, but now there's a sign there that says 1940 to 1977, that's the real 66. So I accomplished that. And in fact, I went to the drugstore, CVS, and they had books on Madison County and what. And in the Madison County, it tells about this and says, due to the persistence of Gregor, and it's in the book,